winter, thousands of people pack up and head south, not to Florida or Arizona, but to a small coastal town right here in Texas. And there's a reason Rockport has quietly become one of the most popular winter getaways here in the state. Hey everyone, I'm Lezli Milner, a local realtor, and in this video I'm sharing what makes Rockport so special during the winter months and why so many people choose to call it home, even if it's only for a few months each year. Now, when it comes to winters in Rockport, things stay pretty mild overall. Most days are in the 60s and 70s with cool mornings and evenings that can drop into the 50s. And the coldest month of the year is January, with an average low of around 50 degrees and highs around 65 or so. But because we're right on the coast, the humidity and the Gulf breeze can make it feel cooler at times, especially when a front moves through. So if you have plants or landscaping that don't handle the cold weather well, you're going to definitely want to cover them or bring your potted plants inside. You can also wrap them in old school Christmas lights, and this will help keep them warm. But one thing about winters in Rockport is that the weather can change pretty fast. You might be in shorts one day and then reaching for a jacket the next. It's part of what makes living on the coast so interesting, and locals here are pretty used to those quick temperature swings. And after the busy tourist season ends, Rockport does take on a quieter, more relaxed feel, but it doesn't mean that it slows down completely. Many of the local restaurants and shops will stay open, and this is when the Winter Texans or the Snowbirds start coming in, and they bring a nice energy back into the town. You're going to see them walking on the beach, shopping downtown, and enjoying the mild weather we have. You're going to still find locals out fishing off the pier, grabbing coffee, walking the beach, just without the summer crowds and the heat. So does it ever actually freeze here in Rockport? Well, it can, but it's not something that happens often. On average, we're going to see maybe 1 or 2 nights a year where temperatures will dip near or just below freezing, and that's usually during a strong cold front in late December or in January. Now, when those rare cold snaps do happen, you're going to usually see frost warnings pop up, and the cold might last a night or two before things start to warm back up into the 50s or 60s by the next afternoon. It's not really the kind of cold that shuts the town down. You're going to still see people out and about, just maybe in a hoodie and pants instead of a t-shirt and shorts. Now, if a hard freeze is expected, then most people will let their faucets drip overnight and cover their outdoor pipes, which is just a simple precaution to take since the houses here aren't really built for long stretches of freezing weather. And even if the temperature itself isn't super low, the wind off the bay can definitely make it feel colder than it is, especially early in the morning or late at night. So you'll want to have a light jacket or a hoodie handy during those fronts. Snow in Rockport is one of those things that's rare, but yes, it does happen every so often. Some of the most memorable times were in 2004, 2017, 2021, and most recently this year in January 2025. So roughly every few years, the coastal bend is getting a surprise dose of winter weather. Now, the 2021 winter storm brought snow, ice, and freezing temperatures all across Texas, and even here along the coast, things actually shut down for a few days. The roads were iced over, power went out, and locals were bundled up to stay warm. It was definitely not our usual winter here. Then in January of 2025, we had another Arctic blast that brought in colder temperatures, freezing rain, sleet, and just a light layer of snow. You had areas northwest of Rockport drop below freezing for several days, while the coast stayed in the mid-30s before actually warming back up into the 50s the next day. Now, that's a pretty typical January. A strong cold front will move through, followed by a coastal low that spins up moisture from the Gulf. And when that Arctic air is already in place, that's when we're going to see the rare mix of sleet or snow. Now, when it does snow, it doesn't stick around long. I would say by midday, late afternoon, it's usually melted off, but locals here will make a big deal out of it because it's something that we don't often get. You're going to see people taking pictures, people making tiny snowmen if they can, and just social media full of "it's snowing in Rockport" posts. Now, since our roads and our bridges aren't really designed for icy conditions, even a thin layer of ice can cause closures, and most people just stay home, enjoy the day off, and just wait for the sunshine to melt everything away. But another thing to consider is that many drivers here are already terrible, so when you add snow into the mix, it just causes disaster. And if you live here, it's always a good idea to keep on the weather alerts during those stronger cold fronts. Cover your pipes, bring your pets inside, and just be ready for a quick change in the weather. But thankfully, those extreme cold snaps are short-lived and only show up every few years. Rockport is definitely one of the top spots here in Texas for snowbirds, or as we call them, Winter Texans. And every year, thousands of people from up north will head down to escape the cold and spend a few months enjoying the mild coastal weather we have here. Now, in the past, Rockport's population has even doubled during these months. However, compared to larger coastal cities like Corpus, Rockport, I would say, still offers that more small town, relaxed atmosphere. It's quiet, easy to get around, and has a real sense of community, which is exactly what many snowbirds are looking for. Now, most Winter Texans stay anywhere from 2 to 4 months, and since Rockport is a smaller town, it's real easy to get settled in quickly. You're going to have grocery stores, local shops, and plenty of restaurants that stay open year-round, so you don't have to drive far for the basics. You're going to see plenty of RV parks, vacation rentals, and waterfront cottages fill up as early as November, and many will actually offer monthly winter rates. And a lot of visitors come back year after year, so you're going to find familiar faces and a close-knit seasonal crowd. Rockport is also known for being one of the most affordable coastal towns here in Texas, especially compared to bigger destinations like Galveston or South Padre Island. That's another reason it's such a popular spot for the snowbirds looking for great weather without breaking the bank. So if you're staying here for a few months, you're gonna also find local doctor's offices and pharmacies right here in town. And if you ever need larger medical facilities, Corpus is only about 45 to 50 minutes away. And there are also plenty of community events during the winter months, from market days and the art walks to fishing tournaments and even bird watching at Goose Island State Park. This is also the time of the year when the whooping cranes migrate to the Aransas National Wildlife Refuge, which actually draws visitors from all over. And one of the best parts is that there's really a strong community here of Winter Texans. You're going to find social gatherings at RV parks, live music downtown, and plenty of friendly faces, whether you're fishing, shopping, or walking along the beach. It's that easygoing coastal lifestyle that keeps people coming back every winter. Even though it's considered the off-season for tourists, the winter season in Rockport still has plenty to do. The weather stays mild enough that you can comfortably be outside almost every day, which is one of the reasons so many people love spending the winter months here. Now, fishing is a big part of life year-round, and winter is no exception. You're going to see anglers out in the afternoon catching redfish, trout, and black drum, with boats coming and going all along the bays and the piers. Now, for hunters, this is also duck season, which typically runs through November, picks up again in mid-December, and goes into late January. You're going to need the MyTory game bird endorsement and HIP certification from the Texas Park and Wildlife, but that's pretty easy to get online or from most local retailers. And popular duck hunting areas include Corpus Christi Bay, Redfish Bay, Aransas Bay, and Copano Bay. Now, bird watching is another favorite winter activity here. This is the season where the famous whooping cranes return to the Aransas National Wildlife Refuge, drawing in visitors and photographers from all over the country. You can also see the white pelicans, herons, and other coastal birds along the water. It's peaceful, relaxing, and one of the best ways to take in the natural beauty of the area. If you're not into fishing or hunting, then the mild weather makes it perfect for long walks along Rockport Beach, exploring Goose Island State Park, or checking out local attractions like the Fulton Mansion and downtown art galleries. There's always something going on around Rockport, from the live music to the markets to the small community events that give Rockport its coastal charm. And of course, winter brings some of Rockport's most loved community events. December is full of holiday spirit with Tropical Christmas, which is a coastal style celebration that's complete with live music, food vendors, and fireworks over Little Bay. Then you have the Christmas lighted boat parade, which is another favorite, and this is where decorated boats glide through the water. It's one of those events that everybody attends and is loved by the community. And in January, you've got the Rockport Gospel Music Festival, which brings in talented musicians from across the region for a weekend of performances. And then the Winter Texan Appreciation Day. This is a fun event that welcomes all the seasonal visitors with food, prizes, and entertainment, and it's a great way to meet people and really feel a part of the community here. February keeps the good times going with La Mardi Gras, which is a local twist on Mardi Gras tradition, featuring parades, live music, and Cajun-style food. It's one of the more lively events of the year and a great reminder that even in winter, there's always something happening here. Now, I'm not saying Rockport is the perfect winter destination for everyone, but there's a reason so many people make it their home away from home year after year. If you already live here full time or you're a Winter Texan, I'd love to hear what made you choose Rockport. So please drop a comment below and share your experience. It really helps others who are thinking about making a similar move. And if you're thinking about relocating to the coast, it's a big decision, but it's something that I work with people on every day. And as a relocation specialist, I focus on helping you understand the lifestyle, the housing opportunities, and the local insights before you ever make the move. You'll find my contact information in the description below, and I'd love to have a conversation with you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.